Whoa.
Positions.
Svar, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Traitor! You should tell her that her uncle is a scum that betrayed his high
You
king.
betrayed us!
Best she know now, Advar.
Get on with it!
You're all hard, Vivian.
Rogver, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrig. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude. Traitor!
If you need potions, head over to Angeline's Aromatics.
We beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all lords.
Let's see. All lords. Alright, let's change the height a little bit here. At least eye level. That's good.
Boo!
Boo this man. Yeah, boo this man.
Oh, on this day, I go to Sovngarde.
Damn, dude. There's a lot of beheadings in this game, I gotta say. What do you think of that, huh?
Rogvir, why did it have to be like this?
Wanderer like you
I
must
guess
have
it's all
plenty
over.
of tales to
I
tell.
expected.
But I'm afraid
I
I'm
don't
too
know
busy
what I
to hear 'em.
expected.
That's definitely going in my part of the Edda. That's definitely going in my part of the Edda.
Some
Shouldn't have been
guard
like
you
this.
were!
I still can't believe he knew what he was doing when he opened that gate.
We should have drawn it out some more. He deserved a slower death.
Jeez. Jeebus. People are pretty cruel around here, huh? What do you think?
A man opens a gate and they cut his head off?
Not right
Doesn't
now.
seem right to me.
Yes? Yes? I'm waiting.
Oh, y'all seen
Spare some gold for a veteran? Mind yourself and my... You wouldn't be a sellsword, would you? I have a little problem you could solve.
You.
I may have accidentally let a prisoner escape. The leader of one of those bandit groups.
Oops.
I told everyone he died during questioning, and I need you to track him down and make sure he doesn't show up to disprove that. It's not much to ask.
Okay.
Good.
I'll do it.
I'll have a sack of coin waiting for you when you get back.
Nice.
Ain't got one, but I'd fancy a chance at that Jari Ra's scrawny neck. Filthy Argonia never would have set foot in this city if High King Torrig was still alive. I can tell you that. Remember, I need that bandit dead, not alive.
One button.
I've got your back. You lead. I'll follow.
One between shouts. One, two. Oh yeah. Hey, those strips. Man, that's rough. That's rough. Alright. Can't forget my main mission. Someone over here.
You look like you could do with a ripe apple, or a tomato, cabbage, or leek. That I do. I had a messenger from Dragon Bridge stop here on his way to the Blue Palace not too long ago.
Oh yeah?
He was very nervous. Mentioned something about needing help.
Don't you have trouble getting...
I have my ways, but it's not
fruit?
easy these days. The Black Blood Marauders have been plundering ships off the coast. A lot of people been hurt by their foolishness.
Huh.
Come back when you figure out how to spend money.
Damn, it really...
You wouldn't have a few minutes to run down to the docks, would you? They're adequate. Honestly, I rely on the business brought in by the burning of King Olaf, and that's not likely to happen this year.
What's the burning of King
It's
Olaf?
a great big festival put on by the bards every year. They burn an effigy of old King Olaf. It's quite a bit of fun. The bards give out spiced wine during the festival, so they put it in a big order. And then, for weeks after, demand is so high, I can barely keep up. But with the death of High King Torrig, the festival has been declared in poor taste. So it looks like it won't happen this year. Well, I've got a shipment of spices the East Empire Company is holding up. I need someone to convince them to release it.
Get your fresh fruit and produce here.
Good luck out there. Seems like a tough time to be wandering Skyrim. Well, I've got a shipment of spices the East Empire Company is holding up. I need someone to convince them to release it.
Apples, tomatoes, leeks, and cabbages, fresh and ripe.
Great. Get back to me when you're done and I'll give you something for your time.
Is there a spice one made from
Oh, yes. A secret family recipe. The only good thing my father Octiev ever did. In fact, it's so good, no one else in Skyrim even tries to make any.
Fresh off the boat.
Nice.
Freshest in Skyrim.
They're adequate. Honestly, I rely on the business brought in by the burning of King Olaf, and that's not likely to happen this year.
Plenty of fresh fish for you.
Stay warm.
Where do you catch the fish
Down at the
from?
docks.
Two things I know for sure.
There are a few good spots if you can avoid the East Empire Company workers and those red
Keep the
wave
cold at
thugs.
bay with our spiced wine.
Svari, yes. It's been hard on her. The girl misses her uncle. I've tried to explain that Rogvir did something bad, and that we all have to be accountable for our actions. But the child feels what she will.
Get your fresh
These are
fruit and
troubled
produce
times.
here.
Be on your guard out there.
Spiced wine, the taste of home and heart.
Fresh off the boat. Freshest in Skyrim.
The finest fish here, caught daily.
Okay. That's interesting.
Fletching suits me. It's difficult and sometimes tedious, but a well-made arrow strikes forth like the fury of a god.
What am I? Where's the temples? Excuse me. Do you know where the temples are? Oops. No, I did not want to do that. That was...
Come on. Now, I want those arrows dead center. The lives of your fellow soldiers are counting on it.
There it is, the Temple of the Vines. Finally found her.
Blessings of the 8 divines upon you. How may I help?
Hi.
You look troubled. Have you come seeking guidance? It's the peace treaty that ended the war with the elves of the Aldmeri Dominion. The Dominion recognized the heresy of proclaiming Talos a god. Talos was a great man and a great emperor, but that does not make him a god. No matter how much the Stormcloaks may wish it were so. Ah, yes. That once held the shrine to Talos. But the worship of Talos was banned by the White Gold Concordat some time ago. It's the peace treaty that ended the war with the elves of the Aldmeri Dominion. The Dominion recognized the heresy of proclaiming Talos a god. Talos was a great man and a great emperor, but that does not make him a god. No matter how much the Stormcloaks may wish it were so. Those who worship at the shrines will sometimes receive boons from the gods themselves. The nature of the favors varies per deity. Please, feel free to worship at any or all of the shrines. The strong and honorable always carry the blessing of the 8.
Being old's not so bad. Daughter keeps me fed, and my working days are done. Take my advice, never gamble. Too many drinking games, too many bets, and I'm too old to ever raise the coin on my own.
Alright. Yeah, that sucks, dude.
I'm sure.
You're in debt to Eriska.
Too many drinking games, too many bets, and I'm too old to ever raise the coin on my own.
Oh yeah.
May knowledge of your divinity carry us through our daily trials. Are you feeling sick?
Yes.
As High Priest of the 8 Divines, I bid you welcome.
Hi.
We welcome you to worship the Eight Divines, freely and openly. Wander no more, for you are among friends and safe. Blessings be with you.
Alright. This whole thing has been because I have had this effects. Need to sort of fix it, man. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Yes, cured. Hear that? I am cured. What? What are you looking at?
Need something? Good morning.
All right. So might as well go
Remind
visit
us of our place.
Bard's College when I'm at it, right?
Forget. May knowledge of your divinity carry us through our days.
Blessings to you. The divines are listening.
Creepy.
Being old's not so bad. Daughter keeps me fed.
Blessings of the Eight Divines upon you. How may I help? The strong and honorable always carry the blessing of the Eight.
Yes, sir. I feel many of Solomon's
Feel free to take a seat or pray at the shrines. We appreciate worship in all its forms.
Okay.
Good evening. It's been my honor to perform at the Blue Palace on many occasions. His late lordship was quite the admirer.
What do you do around here?
I'm a bard from the Bard's College here in Solitude. Wanderers like you should think about applying.
Good idea.
Now you can say you've met the most talented bard in all of Skyrim.
If it's arms or armor you need, see Bayrand in Castle Dower. Bloody good blacksmith, that one.
Going to the college.
Welcome to the Bard's College. I'm the headmaster here. How may I help you?
Well, I guess I'm looking to apply.
Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people. When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed. In this case, I do have a task befitting an aspiring bard. ASUS has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bard's College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Unfortunately, the verse was lost long ago.
And that's where I come in?
Yes. According to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in Dead Man's Respite. I need you to retrieve the poem. Not much.
That's the war effect.
As a bard, I find the whole affair depressing. There are no heroes in this war, no winners to be had, and no real conclusion. If you want something a bard can dig into, look to the dragons. 1,000 years from now, Skyrim will have changed rulers dozens of times. The return of the dragons, that story is once in an era.
What do you know about dragons?
Not much, to be honest. Their return was a shock to us all. Gerard Germain has some tomes about them in the library, if you're interested.
So what is the Poetic Edda?
I think Giraud here would give you the best explanation of both it and the history of King Olaf's verse. You should speak to him about it.
Why did Elsa forbid the festival?
As you may be aware, Elisif's husband, High King Torig, was recently killed. Elisif mourns her husband deeply, and she feels that a festival that burns a king in effigy is distasteful. I tried to convince her the festival is many centuries old and celebrates solitude, but I need proof. I believe King Olaf's verse will provide that proof.
All right, well.
I wish you luck in finding the verse.
At this point, I hardly see how your advice would improve it. It's flawless.
Hello, yes. I'm the Dean of History, and good to meet a prospective bard.
I like trading hours.
He's sending you after King Olaf's verse, then? That's good. We shouldn't leave it lying around now that I figured out where it is. The verse was Svaknir's contribution to the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim.
Okay.
Each bard adds to the Edda in his or her time.
So that's the last part?
And a very ancient one. The verse criticized the reigning King Olaf. He was so incensed the bard was put to death and all the copies burned. At least, that's what we thought until I translated some ancient texts a year or so ago. We now believe King Olaf buried the truth with the bard. If I'm right, Svaknir and King Olaf's verse lie in Dead Men's Respite, along with the burial chamber of King Olaf himself. Be careful. You might find more than just King Well, you've come to the right place. Be careful. You might find more than just King Olaf's verse in Dead Man's Respite. Remember, being a bard isn't just about the music.
Ocean?
Pardon me, but I trust you've been working on your poem on the classical heroes of Skyrim, yes? I'm sure it will be fun.
Lady Atia says my voice is second only to hers, but she's selling me short.
I wish it's an honor to have Viarmo for instruction on drum. But and why wouldn't I be? We sing tales of kings, queens, and their politics, 'tis true. But Do you know who really makes history? The person who writes it. Farewell, stranger. Viarmo is too concerned with precision. What of instinct? What of passion?
Few can resist my charms. Even fewer are worthy of them. Lady Atia says my voice is second only to hers, but she's selling me short. Watch what you're doing.
You're in my way. Alright, well, been to the Bard's College now. I think it's time to call it a good night. Oh, well.